Well, hello there, and welcome to my dungeon, my new studio space here. Of course, we've already seen the Kong stuff out in the Tiki room. This is the new studio space. I'm still not 100% satisfied with how I've got things here, so that'll be evolving over time, and partly due to what I'm going to be unboxing here, which is the new NECA Universal Monster figures, which unfortunately I had to go via Big Bad Toy Store on this. Um, right now, it is somewhat gauche for Canadians to be online shopping from the United States, but unfortunately, NECA hates Canada. And I do love Universal Monsters, so I had to go to Big Bad Toy Store to get the latest NECA Universal Monster figures instead of just constantly hounding my local comic shops in the vain hope that they would ever actually get the figures in. Got them, or a Big Bad Toy Store, braved the terrible exchange rate as well, but at least Big Bad Toy Store now has flat rate shipping to Canada for like $8. So at least there's that. So let's crack these guys open. I am very excited about getting these because, as I have said before, I was expecting that the monsters figures would be done after they got out sort of the Magnificent Seven plus one with the Phantom. I figured the line was done at that point, and then I saw a second version of the Invisible Man, which I didn't get. I'm not planning on getting. I only feel like I need one Invisible Man figure. But the Art of Bay Mummy that I went to Great Falls, Montana to get. I wouldn't have been adverse to another drive to Great Falls to buy these, but again, it's not the wisest for Canadians to be traveling to the United States right now. Um, so I had to order these guys in instead. And yeah, the This Island Earth Metaluna Mutant, who was on my wish list of figures for them to make, and the Masque of Red Death. Wait, ooh, little sticker tag thingies for gifts, as if these were going to anybody but me. Um, the Masque of Red Death, Phantom of the Opera, which also breaks my rule of I was only planning on getting like one figure of each version of the monster. Um, the monster in question, but then I got the Art of Bay Mummy because he's so different from Imhotep the Mummy, like the Mummy, and I thought I love the Mummy movie, so I wanted to get those. And then the Mask of Red Death Phantom is such a is such a gorgeous figure. Like, look at that. That is such a gorgeous figure. So I knew I had to get that. Um, so yeah, so I guess let's unbox these guys here, and we'll start with the Metaluna Mutant here, which again, as I said, was on my list. Now, luckily, I got the substandard packaging, so I got these guys slightly cheaper because I don't collect boxes. I collect figures. Um, yeah, oh, just looking at the backdrop there. So there's the spaceship from This Island Earth. So it looks like he only comes with the only accessory he has is the one extra head, but he's a huge figure, even compared to the other ones. Like, kind of maybe you can't really see him that well, but compared to the Invisible Man, even compared to Frankenstein, he's about he's even bigger than the creature from the Black Lagoon. This is a huge figure. Um, yeah, he was on my wish list that I'd hoped NECA would make. Seemed like the next obvious choice because the Metaluna Mutant sort of started to get um, uh, grandfathered in. I don't know if that's the right word, uh, but started to be included more in the Universal Monsters main list, sort of with sideshow collectibles, um, just to fill out the roster a bit more, and oh, and add that more 50s sci-fi bug-eyed sort of monster thing, and he's got both. He's got two joints. This is probably why he has no accessories. He's got two joints there. He's got the sort of the mandibular joint there, and an elbow joint, shoulder swivels, and so on. Probably to make up for not a whole lot of shoulder mobility thanks to the big shoulder pads there. The rest looks like pretty standard NECA sort of mobility. And he comes with the extra head. And we'll take a closer look at these once I get them unpackaged. If I can get it out. Hold on. I gotta do this the hard way. Yeah. Careful, don't cut into the whole thing. Ah. There we go. And the extra bloodied head. Depending on who's going to bloody him. I mean, not Rex Reason, because you don't have a figure of him yet. We don't have figures of any of the hero characters, which would also be on my list of things to get. Yeah, it looks like the back carapace there, the shoulder carapace are one or maybe two pieces, but again, kind of reduced the mobility for most of them. But show the shoulders there. That's okay. The character itself didn't have a whole lot of mobility in the movie. This Island Earth, which is mostly famous. Oh, we got some mandible articulation as well, claw articulation. Mostly famous for Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. Right? That's how I first saw it. Actually, the first copy of This Island Earth I owned was the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. So there we go. That is the Metaluna Mutant. Great looking figure. And I'm glad NECA came out with it as well, because it saved me having to get the Super 7 Ultimates one, which was too sort of chunky and plasticky and cartoony looking for me for $70 Canadian. Rather get the NECA. Love the NECA figures. All right. I know the NECA figures get some bad reputation. I mean, Lord knows I've had some that are broken out of the box. Some people don't like the NECA stuff. I think the NECA stuff is great. I'm not playing with these. I'm collecting these, making little dioramas on my shelf, although that has encountered some problems here recently, which we'll talk about. Yeah, here's the Masque of Red Death Phantom out of the box there. Same heads as the previous Phantom figure, which stands to reason. I mean, would have been nice if they gave him some other profiles, but they know that you're going to be displaying him with the Mask of Red Death face, so why bother, right? In fact, the only other scene you could be replicating with him is on the rooftop of the Paris Opera when he is overhearing Christine and Raoul having their little uh, dalliance, whatever, but talking about how they're going to escape him. And yeah, so you could do that scene if you really wanted to. We got the same hands as the previous version. In fact, this hand, the one designed to hold the reed from the previous version there. All right, we've got a cape here in the back. So there you go, soft goods. We'll see, how is this? Is this wired at all? Nope. Oh, no, there is a wire. Oh, you can get it billowing whichever way you want. Got a little plastic thing there to hold around his neck. And then we got to get into the figure itself. So let's cut this. And apropos to get the Phantom figure, considering that we just passed the 100th anniversary of the Phantom of the Opera. Unfortunately, everything in my life going on was not able to make some content for that. So I guess this kind of makes up for it with the Phantom, the NECA Phantom figure. But yeah, I never would actually have imagined that NECA would produce this figure, or the Metaluna Mutant, really, though they're on my wish list. But I've learned not to invest too heavily in what I think should be made, because whether or not anybody can read my mind is another question. Yeah, all right, super engaging content here. Okay, you got that, and here is Masque of Red Death Phantom. So they're out of the box. So let's take a closer look at these guys. All right, so here we are, fully out of the box. A little better lighting here to have a look at these guys. kind of liking the contrast here. Earliest era of Universal Monsters, the silent era, and the last era of Universal Monsters, the science fiction era. Metaluna Mutant first. He's got his baggy pants on. Nice little Metaluna Atom logo there, stamped on. Otherwise, I mean, just again, great looking figure. As I already said, love that all of each limb here is articulated, each joint. So that's a lot of fun. Again, he is a hefty figure. He's a big figure, probably the largest one they've done so far. Hence why there are no accessories with him, just the one extra head. But that's also fair because it's not like the Metaluna Mutant was using any um, anything in the movie either. Here's his other head, both having this really nice golden sort of, getting a closer look here, the sort of gold iridescent paint on the eyes there. Looks great, very buggy, very insect-like, which is perfect for our big-brained, bug-eyed monster here. Perfect. The Phantom, again, comes with the same head sculpts as the previous Phantom, same hands, all that sort of stuff. None of that is new because they know this is how you're going to pose him. You're going to pose him as the Red Death with the mask on. One complaint already, though, really hard to find a hand to hold the staff here. Because these hands, I don't think, were made with the staff in mind. They don't hold it really well. That's sort of the best I was able to do. Got the cape on there nicely, and it's got this sort of interesting little sequin thing going on. You can kind of see it reflecting a bit in the light there. Um, Little sequins lining the cape, which is cool. And the hat actually comes off as well. So you can choose how to pose him there, but I'm liking this pose here. The ha, the big dramatic silent movie pantomime melodramatic acting is perfect for this guy. So loving both of these figures. If you're already sold on the Universal Monsters, then there you go. If you weren't able to get the previous Phantom, then I mean, Masque of Red Death is a great one to go with that. And my next challenge is figuring out where the heck to put them all. So I'll show a little bit closer here as well. Also from this wave, Ardeth Bay mummy right there. So again, the only one I'm missing from this wave is the um, Kemp House Invisible Man, which I don't really feel a pressing need to get. So not too worried about that. Um, Only got these two because again they're just such great and very different versions from the sort of standard version. And now my challenge is where the heck to put these guys, because I've faced a bit of a challenge with my displays here. So let's have a look at that. So what do I mean by a challenge with my displays? Well, I used to be able to just go to Staples and get stuff printed off, like on my, oh, you see my Disney stuff there, like my Mezco 5.XL Showa Godzilla scene here. I just got that backdrop printed off at Staples. And I thought, oh, I could just keep doing that. Well, no such luck. Staples has changed their system. I don't know what they did, but either way, I'm not able to get stuff printed off like I used to anymore. So now I got to get more tactile, and I got to figure out what to do because I have an idea of what I want to do with my displays, but uh, new challenges in how to do that. So this shelf here is the crypt shelf. So we've got right now Dracula and the Mummy vying over Frankenstein's monster and the Bride. We got a wolf there. It's actually from G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Classified series, but I found him at a thrift store. And we've got the Phantom and Batman and Elvira hanging out there in the crypt area. This one, what I want to do here is actually a lab, like a laboratory. I don't know where we're going to get the lab equipment from, but in the right scale as well. But right now it's just sort of a grab bag. We got the cereal monsters, the Sandman there, Vincent and his alter ego there, and Jenny Ray Q Iron Tail hanging out in the back, Visible Man, Fleischer Superman, and so on. Up here we've got the swamp right there. So we got Wolfman versus the Creature, some McFarlane figures in there, Zombie and the Voodoo Queen. We got Disney Pirates of the Caribbean figure and the Graveyard and Orlok in there. I want to get a swamp backdrop for that, but I don't know how I'm going to get one. Um, Going up one more, that's the superhero uh, shelf right there. Well, I got the Universal logo there, but we got the Golden Age superheroes, Flash Gordon, that sort of thing. I wanted to get an Art Deco background, but again, face a challenge there. And we've got sort of actually the most done little diorama there, which is the Mummy Awakes right there in the Egyptology camp. We've got Imhotep rising. We've got Salah here from Indiana Jones looking on. I was thinking for this one, I wanted to do like a Paris scene, hence the Hunchback there. And I was thinking that's where Masque of Red Death Phantom would go, but then I got to get a picture of Paris to go in there. So that is that. But yeah, that's sort of the current state of the shelves. So I guess now I got to figure out where to put the new guys in all of this here. So there we go. I found places for them. I've got the Metaluna Mutant harassing Sandman there. I am sticking the Masque of Red Death Phantom right there with the Migo Charles Lawton Quasimodo. Got to find the Paris backdrop for them still, but found places for them, and yeah, love. These are great figures. I'm still shocked actually at how big the Metaluna Mutant is. He's huge, which is great. Which is great. So now what else, right? Because NECA can't announce anything without people going like, "Here's what I want now. What have you done for me lately?" Um, on my wish list, I gave in previous videos Dr. Pretorius. Somehow I missed my favorite Universal Monsters character, but Dr. Pretorius would love him. Edward Van Sloan, who could be any of his characters. Van Helsing probably is the one you'd mainly want to advertise it as. Renfield, White Fry is Renfield. Igor, Bela Lugosi's Igor. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein 3-pack with Abbott, Costello, and the Glenn Strange monster. Um, I mean, the list can go on. Lon Chaney, Hunchback. Although going outside of Universal, I will also take a Charles Lawton Hunchback. Something a little bit better than the Migo one there. Charles Lawton Hunchback, Frederick March, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Fly. You name it. I mean, sky's the limit as far as what I would want for classic horror characters. For Universal, again, what else could they even do? I mean, I've mentioned a bunch here. They could do Fritz. They could do Dr. Frankenstein himself, Colin Clive. They could do Mole Man. I don't think Monolith Monsters would get very far. They got to think about what would actually sell to anybody more than just me, right? Although I am surprised that they did a second Invisible Man figure because nobody cares for the Invisible Man. I can speak from experience as a former store owner. But yeah, I'm holding out hope that something more is going to happen though, because they did go beyond just one-off Magnificent Seven plus Phantom to make an additional version of the Mummy, additional version of the Phantom, an additional version of the Invisible Man, and the Metaluna Mutant. So their eyes are certainly on what they could make. I hope they make more as they slowly dole out these classic horror characters. I would love to see them even venture even further afield. The Addams Family, like the original TV series Addams Family, would be great. The movie Addams Family would be great. Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, Christina Ricci, all that. Barnabas Collins, now that my wife and I are into watching Dark Shadows, Barnabas Collins would be a great figure. So many figures I would want as a fan of classic horror and classic monster movies. But we'll see. And as for Big Bad Toy Store, thank you very much for throwing Canadians a bone with $8 shipping. That's practically free, considering that the usual experience of shipping to Canada is the shipping is double the price of the thing that you're actually buying. So I certainly appreciate $8 shipping. So thanks, Big Bad Toy Store. And yeah, we'll see what else turns up on the shelf here. I know my toy reviews don't tend to get a whole lot of hits, but we'll see what ends up on the shelf here at some later point. For now, Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and we'll see you again.